I have these tiny recorders. I did put some paper to attach a lanyard because they are very small. And this one is the older model, which is slightly smaller. This one is what you purchase for, I don't know how much, maybe $20 or so. It's 80 gigabytes. So now let's see how to record. It's pretty much the same with both of them. Now to record, we need to move this switch. This is the off position at this moment. We need to move the switch towards the left side. So I'm going to move it, and look, there is a blue, small blue light here. I'm just going to move the switch like this. Notice the blue light. Just 3 blinks, and at this moment it's recording. And the mic, it's actually into this hole, which is also the charging hole. So you may want to talk towards this hole, but it does really record from all directions. No problems with this. I'll put in the comment section a audio samples, a video with audio samples for this one. So at this moment it's on and recording. To turn it off, to stop the recording, move the switch all the way to the right. Make sure it's all the way there, and at this moment it's off. Let's see how to listen to it and how to skip files and change the volume. You want to use this 3.5 millimeter plug, which has 3 segments here. 1, 2, 3 segments. You notice there is 2 rings on it. One black ring and the second one. If you have plugs like that have a microphone on them, those will have 4 segments. Those will not work. If you have one that has only 2 silver segments, I don't know if it's going to work. Those are mono. This one, it's audio stereo, but there is no microphone on this. It's just earplugs like this standard. You can use bigger headphones, there is no problem. So make sure first it's off and insert it all the way. Just press on it. And by the way, these units are made of metal. It's black metal, it's not plastic, so pretty solid. So make sure it's all the way in. Once it's inserted, just switch it on. But once it's all the way inserted, otherwise it's going to start recording. You don't want to start recording. So let's look at the lights. 3 small blinks, and now because it's blinking blue, it means now it's playing the first audio file. Okay, so let's perhaps just bring you here. The sound is loud. You can also use big headphones. It's no problem. The sound is really loud. Let's first see how to adjust the sound. So we have plus and minus. To adjust the sound, you need to keep the button depressed for a few seconds. So let's just keep it depressed to increase the volume. So it's really loud. You can tell. Now to reduce the volume, so that's how you reduce and increase the volume. You keep them down. Now, if you want to skip to the next audio file, let's just increase a bit the volume. Anyhow, it's more or less. Okay, so let's just skip to the next audio file. One push. This is the next audio file. I don't know if you really hear the sound. Let's just move to the next file. One push. So to advance into your files, this button goes to the next file, and this button goes to the previous file. That's how you move. You have a folder with, let's say, 10 files. That's how you move up and down within the files, and you play them. You just press the button, this one or this one, and it starts playing the next file or the previous file. There is no way to fast forward when you are playing a file. There is no way to play it faster or slower. It's just file by file playing. There's so no way to fast forward or fast rearward a file. If you have a very long file, cut it in pieces, in smaller files. This way you can skip in between those small bits of file. When you want to turn it off, the listening, just make sure first you switch it off and only then unplug it, so you don't start recording by accident. Let's just see how to recharge it now. I do have my laptop here. I do warmly recommend, because sometimes you'll have a laptop with a blue USB port that it's high power, and you don't want to charge it with high power. Make sure you don't charge with more than 1000 milliamps, 1 amp. So make sure you charge it from a USB port like this one, which is black. It's not blue. The blue one have too much power and you will damage the battery after a while. So do not charge with the blue port, and do not use a charger for phones that has more than 1 amp or 1000 milliamp. Now when you recharge it, make sure you obviously plug it into your computer, and this is the cable that you must purchase it with the small recorder. It comes with it. This cable has a USB port on one end, and on the other side it's exactly like the audio plug. If you want, this is my audio plug. It's exactly the same, but it's not audio, it's for charging. So make sure you insert it into your computer, and we are going to keep it to off, and simply we insert the plug all the way into the microphone port. Don't be worried, it's not going to destroy the microphone. The microphone is deeper there inside. So it's going to be a red light until it's fully charged. When it's fully charged, it's going to turn steady blue. So it's going to be blue light, steady, not blinking. If there is a red light that is blinking or a blue light that is blinking, maybe there is a problem with the charger. Maybe the battery is bad, or maybe there is other problems. And I do recommend you recharge it at least once every 3 weeks. Do not drop it in a drawer and forget about it. The battery is going to deplete and is going to go bad. So keep recharging it once in a while. When you recharge it, from what I've seen on these newer models, perhaps 1 hour or so it's enough. Depends how much is discharged. 1 hour should be enough. But also, when you plug it into your computer to recharge like this, you will have access on the files on your computer. So if now I'm going to open my file explorer on my computer, I'm going to see the audio files, and it's just like any USB key. You can delete the files, you can transfer the files, you can rename the files. This model here, it's using mp3 files. So it's only mp3 files. You cannot play other formats. You cannot play our video files mp4 or something like this. Only mp3 format. I can tell you these units last perhaps about, it depends how good the battery is, perhaps 8 hours to record. Playback perhaps just as much, perhaps a little bit less. So it's quite long lasting. And just look in the comment section to see audio samples and small audio test. And also you can use it just like any other USB stick, memory stick. You can put any other files, you can put video files, anything else on it. It's just that you cannot play the audio from those files, only from the mp3 files. But you can use it to transfer any other files, just like any USB stick. Of course, you can create folders on it, but I don't know if you can play music or audio if you have several folders. What I did myself is I put the mp3 files at the root, directly at the root, and it's reading them one by one. The files you can access and modify them and transfer them both on Chromebook and on Windows PC. It works on both these two platforms. For Android, I would say perhaps it does not work on Android, but I haven't tried myself because this is a regular USB connector. And also, when you play back, you cannot delete files. You can delete files only if you connect it to a laptop or PC desktop. This is how it looks when you connect it to your computer. So let me just plug it in with the USB connector cable. It's going to appear here, and you have the rec folder with all the recordings, mp3 files. This one is the last one, I think. So that's just my speaker on my desktop. It's not too loud. The speaker, it's not very loud, but the sound is good. If you want, this one, for example, here, 34 megabytes, it's a 1 hour file. So it's 1 hour recording, 33 megabytes. So the files are not that big. You have a lot of space. Finally, on this new model, there is no way to set the time or the hour, the date or the hour. So the best is really when you start a recording, just say it. It's this hour, this day, if you want to remember them. There is no other way. And of course, you can rename them and just give a file different name. You can transfer them to other folders and so on and so on. It's just like any other file, and you can create, if you want, folders here and so on and so on. But remember that if you want to play the files, in my opinion, make sure they are at the root, just like you see them here.